everybody watching. Me and MonkeyPaws22 are both finance majors, so we get like really excited when it comes to statistical shit. And so I found this article. Yes, it's like really exciting to us when we're like, oh my god, percentages and numbers. So
it's so bad.
What the fuck happened in your childhood?
It happened like once at my job. Like people were pulling up statistics and stuff, and I was glued to the screen, and they were like, "What are you doing?"
Ooh, numbers, math.
93%
No, okay, so
of statistics are made up.
93%.
Like
that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this week I found an article. I was just kind of browsing around, and it is from U.S. News. And it's talking about how spectating is the new advertising for developers. So basically what happened is that Twitch conducted a study to see how many streamers, or basically what the impact of streaming has on video game sales. And they actually came up with a couple of different things. I'm not really sure from reading it what their expectation was, like if this is actual information that they were looking for. From the sounds of it, though, the only thing that they were trying to find is the direct correlation between streaming and sales. But they actually came up with a couple other things, which is pretty cool. So basically it was this past Wednesday, and this is all cited from the U.S. News article, which you can go to google.com and type in streaming and sales, and it should come up. But it says that streaming has attributed to 25%. Thank you, of game sales for games like Punch Club and The Calling, simply from them being streamed on Twitch. So this isn't talking about advertising that the companies have paid for. It hasn't come from people promoting it. It's just from people streaming the games on Twitch. 25% of sales. So that's a big increase. And I think that that's a good thing because it allows streamers and viewers alike to kind of broaden their perspectives, where somebody, previously would have only played a first-person shooter. They'll go out there and they'll say, oh, this is an adventure game or an action game that's not FPS, and it's a little bit more along the lines of kind of a fantasy or role-playing game, and they want to go play that because they're watching people play these games. But they also... So here's something that's really interesting. You would think that a lot of the big-name streamers, so like PewDiePie, Markiplier, all of them, that they would be the ones that are attributing to such a big jump, but that is not the case. They actually found that mid-tier streamers, so what they consider to be mid-tier is anybody with 33 to 3,300 concurrent viewers are actually the ones that attribute to the 25% the most. So it's actually us little guys that are doing it so well. However, it's now become, so it's for every good thing, there's a bad thing. And so now what it's come to is that the big streamers, since the little guys are doing all of the self-advertising, or, for the games, the free advertisement or whatever you want to call it, the big names are now actually paying YouTubers, big names like PewDiePie, to play these games. And I guess recently they fell under fire by the Federal Trade Commission, namely Warner Brothers, because they had paid people to play Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, and told the people that they were paying, so the big name, streamers, to put it in a place where viewers could not see the sponsorship disclosure.
Which is illegal.
In the accounting world, too, that is a big no-no. Like, if you want to get your licensing revoked for being a company at all, that is the way to do it.
Yeah, and that's against the FCC, too. Like, you have to let the... go ahead.
She started saying that, and my eyes just kind of was like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, for me, from the FCC standpoint, that's like criminal offense if you don't let people know you are sponsored.
Right. So Warner Brothers is agreeing to settle this, the case. They're going to make their, their changes. They're going to drop suit, all that stuff, because Warner Brothers is going to settle, which is, not only smart on their part, but it's going to save them a lot of money and, in court fees and stuff like that. But for them to settle, it's going to be a lot cheaper, and they can just go in, fix the problem, and they can get right back to it. It's no problem. One of the things that did come out of this as well is that just in this last year, the audiences of streamers and viewers has grown from 8.9 to 9.6 million people.
Wow.
So that's how much this has grown so much. And there's actually more to that, which we will get to in a second. Over 470 million gamers were reported to regularly watch gaming content, and that's expected to surpass 500 million by the end of 2016. So that's 30 million increase, which will be nice. Yeah. Yay for Twitch failing all the time again. Okay.
Right.
Right, exactly. 35% of gamers use YouTube to discover their new titles. So they hop on there and say, "Oh, what's this game?"
For that.
So only 35% use that, and 14% use commercials. And this is actually a lot of good information, because this is actually starting to change how developers are developing their games, publishing them. So it used to be that they would tailor to a certain community. They would want to get audiences from like 7 to 12 years old to play this game. They would want to get, 13 to 17 to play this game, and 17 to 25, we'll say, to play this game. Well, now they're broadening the spectrum to include. So. Yes. So it's going to be supposedly over the next couple of years, they're going to start shifting their focus, as quoted from the article, from kids to grandparents, like all the way down the line. They're trying to include more audiences and find things that everybody would find entertaining, and not just to the people that don't think, why the hell would anybody want to watch somebody else play video games? Like, they're trying to get everybody involved in that, which I think is cool, because us as gamers, the people watching as gamers, they know, and so do we, that we have been a target audience, and it worked. I mean, let's just be very serious about this. And it's going to be cool, to see developers. I'm not saying they're all going to do it, but at least some of them are, and we're going to get to grow old and still like video games. I mean, something that would usually expire, our interest in it would fade away after a while, and it's not going to.
Can I add something to that?
That's pretty cool. Sure.
It's finally refreshing to see that they notice this, because I watch people like, I know it's name dropping and I shouldn't be doing it since I'm a YouTuber myself, but I watch like the Happy Console Gamer and people like Pat the NSA Punk and Angry Video Gamer. These are people who are now in their 40s and 50s who grew up playing in the arcades in the 70s, 80s, and the NES. It's like the generation of people who play video games is now all encompassing, from grandparents and great-grandparents all the way down. And for people who don't get this and understand people watching Twitch and this and that, why are you watching that? That's stupid. Think about back in the arcades when people would crowd around one person playing an arcade cabinet and cheer them on and be all excited. It's that you're a part of it. You're watching it live. You're watching something happen. And then to something else you said, it's like, that's how I discovered a lot of games that are out of my comfort zone that I really like. Or from like, think about it. When PewDiePie did his thing on that Surgeon Simulator, that game skyrocketed. Games like Don't Starve. Oh yeah, but PewDiePie did it first. But I don't really like him either because of his personality.
Talk about Markiplier instead.
I like Markiplier, I really do. And Jacksepticeye. But then like games like Don't Starve and Rogue Legacy grew because of these YouTubers who played this game that people never even fucking heard of, that now these indie developers can make money off of and now make us even better games from it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think the reason, like, you'll see a lot of like the fact that like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, the reason like they're not attributing as much people think they probably would be is because they don't do a lot of these games on Twitch. They record them themselves and then put them up later. Like, that's not live, and then they break it up and then put it on later on YouTube.
Very true.
I think this is actually really good because, I mean, let's say somebody gets their, like, somebody's able to play, like, the demo for, I don't know, Outlast 2 or Resident Evil 7, and they play that live on Twitch, and like thousands of people see it, and then you have more thousands of people telling other people that this is going on, and then more people play it, so more people watch it. Like I can definitely see where Twitch is helping video game developers, and like just some games like come out and show their own.
Yeah, definitely.
And be great, because some games that people play aren't major titles. Exactly. And then it shows other people, here's these small games, they don't cost that much, but they're still great. And it gives the developers more money so they can create more games that people want.
Yeah, and I think that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I can see. I can also tell, like, it's probably going to be a big thing all of, like, up till this year. Like, it's going to continue to be a big thing. I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people you're going to find a lot more demos being released to the general public, so that way they can play them on Twitch.
See, and I like how the corporations are giving these early demos, the same versions that we get, but early, to these big YouTubers or Twitchers, so we can see the game early and we can see their reaction to it. And the thing with this is, it started from YouTube and then evolved into live streaming, but we love self-made people, right? We don't like corporation-built stars, and this is very much self-made people. And I saw a report from psychologists who said the reason why people love watching these so much is because it gives you the whole, like I brought it before, like the arcade feel of, like, you're watching people and friends going up against each other in video games and playing them together, and it gives you that feel of, like, of, like, not companionship, but of, like, you're there in the moment, and you're with them, and it's funny, and you're connecting to them on a personal level, which you don't really get with movies, TV stars, and music to a certain degree, that you get that connection with, and it's a lot easier of a process to a game like that, and you're seeing their honest reaction for the most part. I know some aren't, and it's all scripted, but you see what I'm saying? And that adds into what you were saying, and then it also adds into the fact that you can go with an older demographic because they might not be into it in the first part, but once they see what it's really about and they feel that type of vibe, it very slowly starts to draw people in very fast. Here I am, almost about to turn 30, I watch them, right? Come to find out, my kids watched kid versions of them. And my mom saw her watching prop home videos of, like, Wrecker, and she got into them. Like, just because of that certain vibe and feeling that they give off, and that kind of, like, connection you feel with the person playing it, and it gets all these other people and that kind of friendship type vibe you get from it. You know what I mean?
Well, this is kind of how I view it. So if you remember a couple weeks back, we were talking about the cancellation of Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
And how a part of it might have been that they didn't spend enough on advertising. So I feel like companies would spend a lot less money on putting out promotional advertisements on TV and on YouTube. Like how you see the little advertisement on some YouTube videos and it says, your video will start after this ad is done playing, blah, blah, blah. Or even on Twitch, you know, where they have the little advertisement come up before your stream starts. I feel like they would spend a lot less money if they would just pay big YouTubers that have, I don't know, 46 million followers, like PewDiePie does, to play these games and use that as a form of advertising and devote more to the game development itself. But also, too, it would I feel like it would lead to a lower cancellation rate. So for those of you watching that might have heard about it, I know that there was a couple games that in some of our earlier podcasts that REMO 317 was concerned about that were going to be canceled because they'd been pushed back a few times. I think one of them was Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge 2, it was pushed back a month because the corporations were fighting.
Yep, and if you...
Mass Effect also, the new one. That was Monkey Paws.
Yep, and then I have... there was a game that I was going to be buying that is pretty big, has a pretty big name right now, and that's No Man's Sky. It was pushed back to August. It was originally supposed to come out in June. That one's been pushed back. Dead Island 2 was supposed to come out last year. it's been pushed back to December of this year. And so we're just running into this constant thing of, sorry, my computer went off. This constant thing of these games being pushed back, and it leads to people asking why. Would we still need to do game pushbacks if developers gave these big YouTubers beta versions and only released it to them and got a wide fan base response from it saying, oh, this needs to be fixed, this isn't accurate? And would that help them maintain their timeline so they can remain on the same dev cycle?
I don't know if it would help us get it out just as fast, but it would definitely make the games better, because then it would come back with good feedback and then the bad feedback of what they need to fix. And it still might go over a month or two. Hopefully, definitely not as long as before, but it would definitely make the games better, in my opinion. And just a quick side note, like Monkey Paws brought up earlier, I want to confirm what you were saying. It's like thinking about games, like I said, like Rogue Legacy, Shovel Knight, this and that. All these games are indie-developed, small games that made so much money and became big hits because these YouTubers played them. But they're such great games, and now we're giving a spotlight to them because of this, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely started playing Amnesia because of Markiplier.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Especially a late night drink.
I feel you.
I
like drinking.
Honestly, I just feel like you said, the indie game scene has exploded due to streams and YouTube and everything like that. Whereas before, if you didn't have a large publisher, i.e., Rare, Atari, if you can catch my drift of what console I'm talking about. But anyway, if you didn't have a large publisher to help you back the game, it wasn't going anywhere. But now it's not the case. There's actually a game called Game Developer Tycoon that I absolutely love, and I have almost every achievement except for one on there, and that's sell 100 million copies of something. I'm thinking about making Call of Duty and praying that it works, but
yeah.
But anyway,
go ahead and kick that horse.
Bleed that motherfucker dry.
But I really do feel that the indie world has gotten to explode due to getting put in the spotlight on things like Twitch and YouTube, and it's a beautiful thing. As far as the Warner Brothers paying people to play the game and stream it, all they had to do was go ahead and put their fucking logo at the beginning of it or somewhere in there, maybe in the bottom right corner, and they wouldn't be in that kind of a situation. I mean, if they have enough money to make movies like Batman vs. Superman and then try to start up Justice League, they have enough money to let you put a fucking logo in the bottom of your stream.
Yeah.
So that way they don't get hemmed up in court.
Yeah, to add to that real quick, Justin, before we move on. Warner Brother purposely tried to tell them not to do it, and that's against the fucking law, let alone from what Michelle and Monkey Paws were saying. But that's against the fucking law. Like, I don't care. Yeah. People have problems with YouTubers and Twitchers being sponsored by games. I don't. It's really hard to make these and do them on a consecutive basis, especially with limited funds, and it brings in a little bit of extra cash so they can keep making these videos for their fans. So I don't care if somebody's sponsored, but they need to say that, hey, look, I'm sponsored. But being sponsored should not change your opinion on the game and this and that. That just means you play it, but you give your honest opinion about it and you showcase it for them. If it sucks or not, you still say so. But what Warner Brothers did is criminal in my mind, and that is nothing against the YouTubers. That's all Warner Brothers.
Well, funny story before he keeps going. Our favorite person was one of the ones who fell under that.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes, he was.
And they wanted to be bitchy because he told everybody.
He says he doesn't feel he did anything wrong, so he doesn't feel like he should be held responsible.
If you didn't say it, you should be.
Kills people.
Just because you don't... Just because they tell you not to sponsor it. This happened with Xbox, actually, a few years back, when the Xbox One was launching. You need to tell people you're sponsored. That's by the FCC and a lot of other regulations. So fucking what if Warner Brothers tells you not to do it? It's illegal. And they still have to pay you at the end of the day, so do it.
I was going to say, I'm not going to shoot out any names because there's probably going to be people that are going to watch this and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And if it's not, I mean, if you want to go read it, fine. Whatever. You're going to find out who it is because he's listed in there. But in Warner Brothers' case, it's a legal issue, but in the streamer's case, it's an ethical issue. They knew it was wrong and they did it anyway. So that's, I mean, it really falls back on their character, and that's what's sad.
Okay, well, it falls back on both the characters, because Warner Brothers didn't want them to let that be known, and they followed suit. So they're both in the wrong if they follow that. Me personally, I'd have been like, well, fuck you, Warner Brother, you already paid me, and I need to because of legal responsibility. And just being responsible to my fans watching, I need to let that be known that I'm sponsored. I'm doing this whole video because you asked me to and paid me.
Yeah.
And even then, I still give my honest review about it. Fuck it.
And now we took away Vodka Knocker Sunshine.
Oh, I'm good.
No, I'm sad.
Oh no, I was running out of steam anyway. It's alright.